Hello and welcome to New Mama Meg. I'm Meg, nice to see you again. And in today's video, I'm gonna share with you some of the biggest lessons I've learned over the past year of being a new mom. If you haven't already done so, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It means so much to me and it really just keeps me going with this whole YouTube thing. So let's get into it. Just last week, Finn turned 1 year old and it is still just mind-boggling. I can't believe he's a year old. But in the last year, I can tell you I've learned more than I have ever learned in my whole entire life. It was definitely different than I expected in both good and bad ways. And I'm gonna share some of that with you today. Some of the stuff I'm gonna share with you today is stuff that I've learned from other moms. And it's also mistakes that I've made over the last year that I hope in sharing with you will help you to avoid these mistakes, or maybe just to make you feel like you're not alone, because I know how important that is. So one of the biggest lessons I learned was that it's so important to be open-minded and to be adaptable. Before I had Finn, I had all these plans. I was gonna be this kind of parent. I was gonna pass the baby around. I was gonna be free. We weren't gonna have a schedule. We were just gonna be those people that were able to go out and about, do whatever we wanted. Finn was gonna sleep. He's gonna be the perfect baby. And of course, he's a perfect baby. But because I'd set all those things out in my mind, it just led me to feeling like I was always doing something wrong. I think that being adaptable is super important as a parent because your baby has a mind of its own. Also, every baby is different, which is one of the biggest lessons I've learned. So me, being a new mom, I thought we could just go and do all these things or just be out and about and the baby would be fine. But babies really thrive on structure and routine. And that was something I kind of had to learn the hard way. If I were to do it again, or when I do it again, I'm going to go into it with a completely different mindset. There aren't going to be so many rules. There aren't going to be so many things that I'm going to do or that I'm not going to do. I think it's very important just to kind of let it roll as the baby grows and also as you learn to be a parent. With that kind of mindset, I honestly think it takes so much pressure off of you, and hopefully you don't feel disappointed in yourself as a parent because you are learning. This is a whole new experience and it is very hard. If I haven't said it before, being a parent is very, 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 very hard. So if I can offer you some advice, do your best to be open-minded and to be adaptable. This next lesson that I learned kind of ties into the one I just mentioned about being open-minded and adaptable, but do things when the baby is ready and not necessarily when you are ready. One of the biggest mistakes that I made was waiting until I felt comfortable doing things, even though maybe the doctor was telling me Finn was ready for different things, or according to different books and resources online, Finn was ready to do certain things at certain ages, but for whatever reason, it just all seemed so quick to me. So for example, things like sleeping in his crib. He slept in our room in his crib until he was about 7 months, and I do think that had an impact on the way that he sleeps. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I've mentioned that Finn's sleep is not very good. It's never been very good. We'll have moments of good where he'll have really great nights, and just as we think we figured it out, something else happens, whether it's a leap or a sleep regression or any of those things. So anyway, we've had trouble with that since Finn was born. So what I wish we had done is put him in his room sooner. Even if it had just been for naps, just so he could get used to being in his own room. If we had done it when he was younger, I don't know for sure, but I think his sleep would have been a little bit better than it is now. I can't imagine it being a million times better, but I do think he would have been able to soothe himself better. He would have been more used to being away from us, and just so many other things that I feel like because of my insecurities and my fears of him being not right beside me, I feel like I held him back a little bit. Another thing was eating. So this worked out fine. Finn is a great eater. But I remember going to the doctor for his 4-month checkup, and she said, okay, he's sitting up, he's fine, he's ready to start solids. And I could not believe my ears. I thought, no way, I have 2 more months, I'm not ready for this, he's a baby. And I think maybe because he was our first baby, that might have played into all of this fear and me not wanting him to grow up so quickly, because starting solids seems like a very big boy thing to do. So that made me super nervous and super anxious. So I think we waited about a month after our doctor had said he's ready to go to start him on solids. And that was only because I wasn't ready. So I really wish I had just listened to Finn, because he was definitely giving me signs that he was ready. I'm doing that right now, actually. He's moving to 1 nap, which is, I can't even believe this. He's moving to 1 nap already. According to resources online, it says around 14 or 15 months they'll move to 1 nap, and he's only 12 months. So anyway, the reason I'm gonna start switching it is because he has been sleeping better throughout the night, and during the day he's just fighting me on that second nap. He wants nothing to do with it. Even if he seems tired, he just refuses to go down for his nap. So what I'm gonna try and do is slowly push his nap time in the morning just to try and stretch it out a little bit. and make him last a little bit longer throughout the day, because at this point he had been waking up at 12 o'clock from his first nap and wasn't going to bed until 7. And that is way too long for a baby to be awake. So I'm gonna try and minimize that window by gradually pushing it, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks he'll be comfortable with the 1 nap. If not, we can stick with 2. I'm not trying to push the 1 nap on him. I'm just trying to listen to what he's kind of telling me. So if it happens, it happens. If not, we'll stick with 2 until it just really doesn't work. The moral of the story is listen to your baby's cues. Your baby will tell you when they're ready to do certain things. Not always, but with certain things. For example, the nap thing. It's important to remember that even though you may be scared or nervous or feeling overwhelmed that your baby's reaching all these milestones, or just being ready to do these certain things that maybe you thought would be a little bit later in the future, don't let your own fears and anxieties get in the way. Because at the end of the day, they're always gonna be your little baby, and you're probably never gonna be ready for those next steps until you absolutely have to do them. So just listen to your baby. So if your baby is ready, your baby feels ready, seems ready, your doctor is saying the baby's ready to do whatever it is. If it's too much, you don't have to do it all at one time, but just give it a try. You might thank yourself later. This next one is something I wish I had known much, much sooner. I've also mentioned this in some of my other videos, but getting secondhand baby items is the best thing that you can do. When I was pregnant, I had this long list of different things that I wanted. Obviously, I was a new mom. I wanted like the best of the best. Everyone's talking about things like the Snoo, which is a $2,000 sleep bassinet. And I was like, oh, do I need that? Should I get that? I can't afford a $2,000 sleep bassinet. So we didn't get that, but we did get the fancy stroller. I got the fancy crib, all these different things because I wanted to have like the fanciest and the best. But at the end of the day, your baby's needs are very simple. Your baby doesn't know the difference between a $1,000 crib or a $200 crib. As long as what you're buying is safe, that should be the #1 priority. You also have to buy a bazillion different things when you have a new baby, and that adds up really quickly. If you have a friend that's offering you something that's been gently used, take it, if you need it anyway. Babies go through things so quickly, especially things like clothes. They wear them maybe once or twice, and then they can't wear them anymore because they've grown out of them. Same thing with toys. Do not spend a ton of money on toys because babies are happy to play with Tupperware containers and lids and just random things like that. We have a massive toy box that Dan built for Finn, and it's filled with toys that we've bought for him or that he's gotten as gifts. He honestly spends more time playing with the handles on the windows or picking up Hazel's toys or chasing her around, and he's not interested in so many of the things that we have for him. So do not spend a ton of money on that stuff. If you're getting a secondhand item from someone that you don't know, maybe you got it off Facebook Marketplace or something like that, just make sure it has all the bits and pieces, that it's clean. You wanna make sure you sanitize everything, wash everything in the washing machine, make sure all the screws are nice and tight, there's no parts missing, because again, #1 priority is baby safety. And secondhand items can be very safe too. So it's just really important to prioritize safety over like look and wanting to have the best of everything. Self-care is something that I've talked about in many of my videos and even on Instagram if you follow me at newmama_Meg. I talk about how important it is for new moms and new parents to take care of themselves. And I don't necessarily mean getting your hair done or going out for the day. I'm just simply talking about something that makes you feel good and makes you feel better. Being a new parent can be very overwhelming. It's extremely stressful. It's so hard. I think it's so important that parents recognize that and that it's okay to say, hey, I need a minute. I think it's so important for parents to find that one thing or two things that they can do, whether it's on their own or maybe with their partner, I don't know, but just something that makes them feel good and allows you to kind of recharge and reset and just take a minute for yourself. I go for a monthly massage. So I have these pre-booked ahead of time. I know the date way ahead of time so that I can organize for my mom to come over for an hour and a bit just to watch Finn so that I can go out and have this 1 hour to myself. And I know this may sound a little selfish, it may sound a little frivolous to some, but I know that me being able to go out and just kind of reset and recharge makes me feel a million times better. And when I feel better, I know that I can be a better mom to Finn. So at first I was like, oh, I shouldn't be taking this time for myself. It feels wrong for some reason, but what I quickly learned was that I need to be in a good mental state. I need to feel happy. I need to relax, and taking an hour for myself is not selfish. And I hope that you feel that way too. Not about me, but about you. I hope that you taking 1 hour for yourself, whether it's once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever works for you, I hope that you don't feel guilty about it because you shouldn't. Someone, actually my masseuse said to me the other day, he's like, you're not only a mom, you're also a woman. And it was funny to hear that because for an entire year, I've been a mom. And obviously there's so much more to me than just being Finn's mom. And I've kind of forgotten about all of those things. So I don't know, when he said that, it kind of triggered something in me. But anyway, I'm telling you that because you are also not just a mom or a dad. There's so much more to us than just being this one specific thing. And acknowledging that doesn't make us any less of a parent. I think acknowledging that makes me anyway feel empowered a little bit. I know that I do my absolute best for Finn. I do everything I can to make sure that he's happy and that he's healthy. But in order for me to do that, I also need to be happy and healthy. And if me taking 1 hour out of my month is what I need to do that, then I'm gonna continue to do that. So for you, maybe it's not a massage, maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's getting up a little bit earlier to have your coffee by yourself, maybe it's meeting a friend for a glass of wine. Whatever it is, just make sure you do it at least once a month. If you can do it more frequently, power to you, just do it. Make it happen because that time for yourself is so, so important. And taking some time for self-care is so, so necessary. And finally, this is the biggest lesson that I've learned over the past year and one that I want to share with you so badly. It is okay to ask for help. As a new mom, you kind of feel like you have to do everything on your own, or more so that you want to be able to do everything on your own. You have all these expectations of how everything's gonna go, and often it doesn't go that way. And as a new mom, you're just trying to figure everything out. You're trying to figure out this new life that you have. You're trying to figure out how to raise a baby. You're trying to figure out how to deal with everything postpartum as well. So there's a lot going on. So often it seems that moms are afraid to ask for help because they don't want to seem weak. They don't want to seem incapable. But asking for help, in my opinion anyway, does not make you look weak or incapable. It's okay to ask for help. This could be many kinds of things. Maybe it's coming over to just keep you company. Maybe it's coming over to look after the baby while you have a nap or you have a shower, or just simple things like that. Who knows? We all need help in different kinds of ways. And I just hope that you don't have that fear of being judged or feeling like you're doing something wrong because you feel like you need help. So now I ask for help all the time. People are probably getting annoyed with me asking for help. But at the end of the day, I cannot do this by myself. I am the first one to admit it. I cannot do this by myself. I am so lucky to have a family that wants to help me all the time. And I've relied on them for so many different things, and I can't thank them enough. So if you're watching this, thank you. Love you. Boop. So please, please, please don't be afraid to ask for help. Those around you and those who are going to help you are not going to judge you at all. They're going to love you anyway. They'll probably be so happy to help, especially if it's holding the baby or taking care of the baby. They're gonna be really excited about that. But those around you and those that love you will want to do nothing but help you. So don't be afraid to ask. As I mentioned, I have learned so much, more than I could ever tell you in this, however long this video is gonna be. And I'll probably think of more lessons that I've learned once I turn the camera off. But these are some that kind of came top of mind when I was thinking about what were the biggest lessons I've learned over the past year. If you're a new parent, I hope you found this helpful. That is the point of my whole channel anyway. I'm just trying to share tips and tricks and lessons that I'm learning along the way in the hopes that I can make your life as a new parent a little bit easier. And maybe just take away some of the kind of unexpected things that happen in the first year of being a parent. If you're a mom of a 1-year-old just like me, I would love to hear some of the biggest lessons that you've learned. If you want to share them in the comments below, I will definitely check them out. And that's it. I hope you liked today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram at newmama_Meg. And I'll see you next week. Bye.